Welcome to my pre-algebra class. We're on chapter 14, section 3. We're going to be finding the surface area of a cylinder, a can. And the formula is arrived at from the fact that if you cut a can apart, you have two circles. And if you cut along here and unravel it, you'll get a rectangle. So we actually have two bases, two circles, so that'd be the area of two circles, 2 pi r squared. And then this rectangle that is obtained by cutting the can like right down along here and then opening it up, this distance around the circle is actually the length. And remember, the distance around the circumference, a circle is the circumference, and that's pi d, pi times the diameter. And then the width of your rectangle is how tall the can is, h. So that's where we get the formula pi dh. So the surface area of a can is found by taking the area of the two circles and adding it to the rectangle that you get when you cut the can apart. So keeping that as our formula, we're going to do these two surface area problems. So this one surface area, always write the formula down, is 2 pi r squared plus pi times the diameter times the height. And remember, you have to look for 22/7 or 3.14 to use. And I don't see anything divisible by 7 here, so we're going to use 3.14. So it's 2, replace pi with 3.14. The radius of the can, the circle here, the distance across is 12. The radius is half of that, so that would be 6 squared. Plus pi, 3.14. The diameter of that circle is 12. And if I turn this can around and set it on either circle, it's 50 high. So now we need our calculator. And we're going to take 2 times 3.14 times 6 to the second power, square it, and we get 226.08. So I want you to put that down. 226.08 plus 3.14 times 12 times 50. And that's 1,884. And then when we add those together, we get our answer of 2,110.08 centimeters squared. And checking the book, they do leave it in hundredths, so we'll just go to the nearest hundredths. Okay, the second one, 7 is definitely divisible by 7, so we're going to use 22/7 on this one. So our surface area is equal to 2 pi r squared plus pi times the diameter times the height. So 2, replace pi with 22/7. Radius is 7 squared. Remember, is 49, so we're going to use 49 for that. So that'll be 7 squared. Remember, you have to square first. Plus pi, 22/7 times the diameter. 7 is the radius, the diameter is 14, times the height, which is 10. Be real careful here that when you do these problems, you do that squaring first. So that's 49. And then we can do some canceling. So 7 goes into 49/7, and 22 times 2 times 7 comes out 308. And 7 goes into 14 twice, and 22 times 2 times 10 is 440. 40. So I add that together and my total surface area is 748, and the unit was centimeters squared. Okay, so that concludes the explanation of how to find the surface area of a cylinder. We're ready to start the assignment. Have your calculator handy. So we're doing 639, numbers 1 to 10, and problem number 2. I am going to draw the shapes. It doesn't take forever. That's good. So we have a cylinder. And the diameter is 12 yards and the height is 16. And looking at those numbers, they're not divisible by, whoops, I did the wrong one, sorry. Number 2 is actually laying the wrong. Okay, let me take this out and we'll quickly redraw it. Okay, so now I have this circle and I'll duplicate that, and the cylinder is actually on its side. Not the best cylinder. Okay, then we have this is given here for number 2. You're given the diameter again, and it's 28, and the height when it stands on its base is 70 millimeters. So surface area is 2 pi r squared plus pi d h. And I can see 70 and 28 are both divisible by 7, so I'm going to replace pi with 22 sevenths. The radius, if 28 is our diameter, the radius is half of that, which is 14. So that's 14 squared. Plus pi 22 sevenths, the diameter is 28, and the height is 70. So before I do any canceling, I'm going to take 14 and square it, or I could write it twice. That might be a better possibility this time. You could do this also. The 7 cancels with the 14, so now I have 2 times 22 times 2 times 14, which is 1,232. Then I'm going to do the rectangle part. I can cancel the 7 with the 28, that's 4. So that's 22 times 4 times 70, which gives me 6,160. Add that to the 1232, and my answer is 7,392 millimeters squared. Problem number 4. It's on the next page. It says find the surface area of each cylinder. Okay, I think I'm just going to try drawing these. If they look pretty bad, just live with them. Okay, we have another can on its side here again. And this time they give us that the radius is 15 centimeters and the height of the can when it sits on its circles is 20. So our formula is, again, the 2 circles, the area of the 2 circles, 2 pi r squared, plus the area of the rectangle pi dh. Neither one of those numbers is divisible by 7, so we're going to use 3.14 for pi. The radius is 15, we have to square that. And then pi 3.14, the diameter is twice the radius, so 15 times 2 would be 30, and the height is 20. Now find the individual parts. So we take 2 times 3.14 times, and the radius is 15, you have to square it, and hit equal. So we get 1,413 for the first part. Second part, take 3.14 times 30 times 20, and we get 188.4. Add that to the 1413, and our total surface area is, whoops, let's clear that out. 1413 plus 188.4 gives us 1,600. I think I made a mistake here. Let me pause this for a minute. Yeah, my mistake was right here. I had, that should be 1,884. So now adding those together, 1,884 plus 1,413 gives me the answer 3,297. And the unit is centimeters squared. And problem number 6, we have another can. It's a little squished one. And we have the diameter given clear across is 8 meters, and the height is 3.2 meters. So our formula, surface area equals 2 circles, the area of 2 circles, 2 pi r squared, plus the can part, the rectangle, pi times d times h. Neither of those numbers is divisible by 7, so we'll go ahead and use 3.14 for pi. So it's 2 times 3.14. The radius would be half of the 8, which would be 4 squared. Pi 3.14, the diameter is 8, and the height is 3.2. So careful using our calculator this time. We get 2 times 3.14 times 4 squared, and that gives us 100.48, plus 3.14 times 8 times 3.2, and that's 80.384. Add those together. And we get 180.864. And the unit is meters squared. So they're not doing any kind of rounding. Problem number 8. A drum is enclosed on the top and the bottom. So we have a drum. And the diameter of the drum across here is 20 inches, and the height of the drum is 27. Find the approximate surface area of the drum. So that would be the 2 circles, it's closed, pi r squared, 2 pi r squared, plus pi times the diameter times the height. So 2 times 3.14, no number there is divisible by 7. Radius is half of the 20, that would be 10 squared, plus pi 3.14 times the diameter 20 times the height 27. So if we just want to use our calculator, it'd be 2 times 3.14, and 10 squared is 100 times 100. Gives us 628. And then the can part, 3.14 times 20 times 27 gives us 1,695.6. Add to that the 628, and we get, I accidentally doubled that up. So 628 plus 1,695.6 gives me 2,323.6 inches squared of surface area. And the last problem, number 10, it says compare the areas of the two labels. What do you notice? Now the labels are the outsides of the cans. So let's take the onion. It's not the circles. Take the onion can, so that would be pi times diameter times h. And then we have the corn can, and its label is bound by pi times diameter times h. Remember, they just want the labels, which is the paper going around the outside of the can. So if we do the onion can, pi 3.14, diameter is 2.4, and the height is 4.8. So figuring that out, 3.14 times 2.4 times 4.8, we get 36.1728. Now the can of corn, pi is 3.14. Its diameter is 3.2, and its height is 3.6. So multiplying that out, 3.14 times 3.2 times 3.6 gives us the same number. So 36.1728. So what do we notice? They're the same. They're equal. That concludes the evens. Be sure you check the back of the book for the answers to the